Welcome everyone to our next Peace Pal Make Along. We're here with Evelyn, who is gonna walk us through some more Peace Pal must knows. So I'm Kelly Wolf. I'm the Executive Director of Knitting for Peace. Over to you, Evelyn. It's your show.
Well, I'm Evelyn, and you guys, hopefully all know me, and I'd like to just say hi to everybody who's there. So if you guys can say hi back, that would be great. So I would also like people to unmute themselves if you can, and then, just chime in whenever you want to and ask questions and make comments, and that's what makes this a lot of fun. So I was telling Kelly, well, I'm going to start by showing, I finished up the little the dolls that we were making last month with the skirts. So just to show how they turned out, because they turned out pretty cute, Of course they did. Of course they did. They're so adorable. So this is first one. See if I can make this a little bit brighter. Probably going the wrong way. There she is. This is just one with a ruffle on the skirt. And then this one is the one with just the plain skirt. I think this is the one that I knitted the doll and then added the skirt second. I didn't add this skirt as I was knitting the doll, just to show you, the other way to do it. That's her. This is the one with a little, just a garter stitch skirt. I think she's probably going to get some hair. I didn't have time for hair for her yet. And then this is the one with the skirt made with the Peace Pal recipe, the one that is published by Knitting4Peace. That's this little skirt. It's adorable. It's one of my favorites. Then this was one of the lace skirts. I gave her some of that fancy hair. There's another little one. Yeah, they're cute. All right, now here's the last skirt. And it's actually a segue into hijabs because she's got both. So that's that. All righty. Does anybody have any dolls that you want to show or skirts or something from last time? As you know, I would love to see them. And I'm looking, nobody's volunteering.
I think Ellen has a whole bunch in the background.
Got some. I don't know if you can see them. My name's in the way. That's what I've actually got a few friends hooked on Peace Pals now. So,
oh,
and there's one of my friends there, Amrita. Hi, Amrita.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Oops. Actually, this is Amrita's first doll.
Fantastic. Oh, look at that big smile. Really cute. Nice job.
And I did try one with the overhauls. I found it very time consuming to do.
Yeah, it is.
I knit in the round with magic loop.
Okay.
So I don't know. I just found it kind of hard to do this. And I haven't started skirts yet because I'm not sure how to do them in the round.
I think to do them in the round, what you're going to need to do is make your whole doll. So make the whole doll and then do the thing you're going to take. I don't know how you would do it with magic. I'm not really good within the round. I normally just do everything flat. but if you had double pointed needles, you would pick up like the right leg of every stitch, or the left leg, just one leg of every stitch all the way around, and then you would start knitting down. So on the first row, you would increase, like do knit front and back on every single one, and then I think you actually wind up holding your doll upside down to do it, and then knit that way. Another idea I would say is, I don't know how you would knit a donut shape in the round, but if you knit the skirt flat and then sew it onto your doll that you had already knit in the round.
I might try that. And then if I have the belt like you have, or the cuff on the sweater like you have, I think it would be easy maybe to connect it that way.
Pick up from there. Yeah. Or I
Yeah.
think that would be really easy. You could even use a contrasting color. Ooh,
Yeah, I'll
you'll
try
have to
that.
show us. Yeah, try it and then show us next time. I'd love to see
I'll
what
try
you do
it.
with
Yeah.
it. Yeah, the skirts are
And maybe Kelly can answer this question. I'm thinking of trying some of the people puppets, and I'm just wondering what skin color it would be the best to use. What are the people requesting them? What skin color would they prefer?
So finger puppets are a little bit looser, and finger puppets can actually be animals. So we don't get skin color requests. However, I will say that most of our finger puppets go to Central America.
Okay.
But a lot of ours, because they're used for parents communicating with children, they can be non-human.
Okay, I know I've always been making them animals mostly, but I did see in the newsletter that some people were asking for people puppets.
Yeah, I read that too.
Yeah, so Central America, they usually go to Guatemala. So that would be, your medium skin tone. We have not, that's a new request. So we haven't gotten skin color requests. So that's as much as I know. But if you were trying to match the demographic, I would say medium to dark.
Medium to dark. So
Yeah.
so do you know where the request came from?
I don't. That is a Joe
okay.
special. So that I can assume that it's from the organization, University of Colorado, their global health, because that's basically the only place that our finger puppets go, that and Yale University, but it's the same demographic. And I was just saying, I was just talking to Kim, we're out of finger puppets. So they can only go to these specific places because we have so few.
Okay, I'll start making finger puppets.
Yeah, that's
animals and people.
Ellen, how good are you at finger puppets?
Well, I've been sending them in. Whenever I usually send in some finger puppets. They're usually pretty simple ones. Animals.
I'm going to talk to you after this meeting.
Okay.
I usually crochet them.
Wow.
Darlene will appreciate that immensely. She's going to feel like we need some crochet representation. So
yeah, I was always a crocheter for years and years and years, but I just learned knitting because I think the Peace Pals look better knitted.
I agree.
Well, those are the only places that they go right now because we get so few. So my assumption is the request came in for a Central American demographic.
Okay.
Good question. All right, onto the hijabs. So, most of the hijabs, the bib part of it, even if it's knit or crochet, it just seems to curl up. So at one time, Joe Cohn, who Kelly was just talking about, who's our, I guess, intake coordinator, was saying that's a problem. Once they get a lot of these hijabs, they need a lot of attention and they don't know exactly how to make them stop curling up. So she sent me a couple of them to play with, to see if I could figure out what to do with them to make them not curl. So I'm going to show you. And the funny thing is, she sent me a couple that I had sent in to them. All right, it's a problem. All right, so
To be fair, once intakers separate them, we don't know who they come from, which is why like I don't necessarily know what Ellen's finger puppets look like. And she wouldn't have known that they were yours, Evelyn. I'm sorry.
No, I think it's great. It reminds me, I was just watching the Great British Baking Show. It's like, this is judged blind. Well, it was judged blind. Mine were no good. They kept, tell me so I can fix them and not send in ones that are curling up. So I really did appreciate, and I was not the least bit insulted. I giggled a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to show you pictures. This is what was sent to me. This one, these two were it looks like they were made from worsted weight yarn, and it curled up pretty bad here and here, and then this one also. So I looked at that. This was actually one that I had sent in that she returned to me. So what I did with the three of them was I steamed them and blocked them. So I put them on the blocking boards. I had blocking them here and here, in any place where it was curling up where it shouldn't have been. And they turned out pretty good once they dried up. So, and then I did a little work on some of them. So this was that first one.
Hold up one second, Evelyn. We have Kim who says she's not seeing your hijab pictures. Is everyone seeing what Evelyn is sharing except for Kim? Are you seeing pictures and a brown? Yeah, now a finger. Everybody good? Fingers. Yep. Okay. So Kim, I don't know what your problem is. What are you seeing, Kim?
Evelyn's beautiful face.
Well,
oh no.
I wonder.
Now you're
everyone's seeing.
still. Are you seeing me now or the hijabs?
You.
Okay. Now?
I just
Good job.
see you.
Do you have it on speaker view or gallery?
Oh, I am on gallery. Sorry,
that's
sorry,
why.
sorry. My issue. There we go. I'm in. Thank you. Thank you, Pamela.
Can't be too hard on her, guys. She's everybody's boss.
I was doing the same thing. Yeah.
So now everybody's seeing it?
Perfect. Yep. Thank
So
you.
Thanks. Yeah, for letting us know. So this one came out like this. So that looks pretty good. I don't have any dolls to put it on, but I'll send that back when I send the rest of them. So that was that one. Here's this second one. That's pretty flat now. So that was, I think I added a tiny little bit of like a slip stitch with crochet. That didn't do the trick. So then when I steamed it, it's flat now. So that's a success story too. And then this one, I added a single crochet around the bottom, and then I steamed it. And then I thought it needed some decoration around the face, so I just added a little bit of a running stitch on that one, but it's coming down straight. So these are all just following, this is the Knitting for Peace hijab pattern, but I changed it around to knit it flat. So this is the one that I'm going to be sharing with you, although I made some improvements to make it not curl to begin with. So that's my focus for today. So I started out by just, in order to figure out what the problem is, I started with the in the round pattern from Knitting4Peace, and this is how that turns out. I think it seems to be kind of off. Here's the other one that someone else had done, but it seems, I don't know, higher here. I don't know. I'm not that good in the round, so I think any problems were due to my knitting. But this also curled up. So this is after a lot of steaming. The one that I'm working on now, if I can find it, this is the one. So this one never curled. I started looking around on the internet how to make your knitting not curl. And the problem is that it's stockinette stitch, and stockinette stitch just curls. So if you wanted to make a sweater that had a rolled collar, you make it just by stockinette stitch with no pearls in it. So I am adding pearls everywhere where it's going to curl. So that looks pretty good, I thought. And then here's a couple more that I made after I wrote the pattern just to test it and make sure that it was working. And it seems to work. It's not curling up the way that this one did, which was this kind of the same pattern, but without the pearls in it. Does everybody agree with that the problem is that it's all stockinette?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So I remember reading somewhere that I think, what's her name? Elizabeth Zimmerman said, you know, if you don't want it to curl, just put in a pearl every now and then. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, I'm going to set up my camera to hopefully show the knitting in my lap. And I have written down.
Evelyn, we have a question from Kathy real quick. What if we make them ribbed?
Ribbed, the whole thing all the way ribbed?
Je ne sais pas. She just says, how about if we make them ribbed? I don't know if she means the whole thing.
I think
Can you hear me? I'm in a car, so I didn't want to go off speaker. Evelyn, I was thinking maybe just the neck part, to just use a fairly small gauge yarn and do a 1x1 rib.
Do it
Might
where? Down here? Or up here?
around the neck. Yeah, the neck piece. If that was ribbed, I think it might not, because like when you make a scarf, if you make a ribbed scarf, it doesn't roll.
Right. The
Yeah, I
roll,
think I'll try that.
you definitely should, and then let us know. But the rolling
Yeah,
part was happening down here.
right. Yeah. Okay. It
Well,
gives
when
me
you
an
do,
idea to try.
well, we're going to want to see it when you're done. All righty. So I am going to switch this camera. Hopefully, give me a second. Put this pillowcase in my lap so that it's a little bit lighter because my pants are black. So that's not going to help anybody. All right, so it's going to be cast on 7 stitches. So those are the 7. And Ellen, I guess when you make hijabs, if you're going to, just go ahead and do a couple of, like, around the edges, do some pearls, like every other one. I think that'll do it. Okay, so I'm on the wrong side. I've got 5 stitches, no, 7. I'm gonna knit 2. I'm gonna purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. And then knit 2.
Evelyn, you're freezing up a bit. A lot of bit.
Really?
Yeah,
I
your hands are buffering quite a bit.
I don't know how to fix it.
Can you turn your face off and see if just all of your internet goes to your hands would be better?
How do I do that?
Well, it would be the 3 dots on your profile on your picture. You would scroll down and hit stop video. But I don't know if that'll also stop your hands. Yep. Okay, that worked.
Yeah.
Hands. Yep. We'll see if that makes it any better.
Are they moving now?
They are moving. You're in a lot of light. Maybe that's also a problem.
Maybe I should make it a little darker.
Can everyone see her okay, or am I just being picky? Darlene will tell me the truth.
Well, everybody ought to tell you the truth. It doesn't make sense to not. Somebody says, Kathy says it's okay.
Okay, great.
Her hands look like they were slow motion to me too.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Well, I'll try and, yeah, it's kind of, shall I get my husband and see if he can fix it?
I think you're okay right now.
Okay. So I'm on the right side. This is row 2. I'm going to knit front and back. Then I'm going to knit to the second to the last stitch over here.
Preservation and even murder. It was the beginning of Hitler's final solution. Today, Berlin's topography of terror is it stands on the road of what was once the most feared address in Berlin, the headquarters of the Gestapo secret police.
And this one I'm going to knit front and back.
It was from here the government
And then the last stitch is a knit. All righty. Right, row 3, knit 2, purl 5, knit 2. So it's given, I guess, a garter border of 2 stitches.
Hitler's mighty tanks and high-tech air force, the Luftwaffe swept across Europe. France fell quickly. Suddenly, Hitler was playing tourist at the Eiffel Tower. Soon, nearly all of the continent was under direct or indirect fascist rule.
Then again, knit front and back, knit to the second to the last stitch.
The evil, the fact is that we're incremental. As its small evils became big evils, German society managed to be oblivious to its own atrocities. At first, concentration camps contained people who didn't conform. Then they became forced labor camps. Eventually, the Nazis built death camps.
Knit front and back, knit one.
With what the Nazis called the final solution, the entire Jewish population was targeted for extermination. In total, approximately 6 million Jews died from Nazi persecution.
Soon we'll be doing something a little different.
Auschwitz-Birkenau in Poland was the biggest and most notorious concentration camp.
All right, knit two, purl seven, knit two.
But Auschwitz survivors want tourists to come here to try to appreciate the scale and monstrosity of the place.
Who's watching TV?
Known as the Holocaust.
Sounds interesting.
Can you hear that? I'll shut down. This is my husband's watching TV.
Yes, my
Is
darling.
it- Does it sound like Rick Steves in Germany?
I can't hear it now.
Oh,
I do love some Rick Steves though.
All right, row 6 is the same, knit front and back, knit to the second to the last stitch, knit front and back. I'm going to put my eyeglasses on. Oh, so much better. Oops. Let me do that one again.
Are these, Evelyn, are these directions on, where do we find the directions written down? That you're,
I put them on a project page in Ravelry.
oh, okay.
And I will
Um,
email them afterwards.
Oh,
Yeah.
great,
Yeah.
thanks.
Thanks. All right, I totally missed this one, so I'm doing it again. All right, so knit front and back on this first one. Knit to the second to the last. Knit front and back. And then knit one. And then one more purl row. So we're knitting the 2 outside stitches and purling the middle ones. Okay, so where we are now is we've done this whole little part here, and now we have to add on the stitches for this side and then the stitches for this side. So I'm going to cast on, using cable cast on 12 stitches. The first one I usually just do a knitted cast on. I don't go between them. So it's a knitted cast on for this first one. And I try and keep it pretty tight. And then, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. So we've got these new stitches here, and we don't want it to curl up here. So I am going to knit 1, purl 1, these 12, and then I'm going to knit the ones that I already had on the needle. There we go. Okay, those are the 12. And now this one, no, I can't see that one. This one looks like it's on backwards. So I have the wrong, it's just twisted and it's wholly. So I'm gonna just knit into the back of this one. That'll keep a hole away from it. Just looked a little holy. And then knit across these stitches, all of them. So now I need to add stitches onto the other side over here from the wrong side. So it's going to be a cable cast on, but it's going to be purlwise. And it's also cast on 12. So instead of going in the front, I'm going to come in from behind. That's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. All right. So there are my 12. I'm gonna purl one, knit one till I get to here, and then I'm gonna purl to the end. Again, this first one's a little wonky, so I'm going to purl into the back of that. Oops, once my yarn's in front. So the next 3 rows are just knit a row, purl a row, and knit a row.
Does anyone have any questions or tidbits or anything like that?
Anything to fill the silence? What's everybody working on?
Well, I'm making a cowl or a hood. Hoods are kind of a knitting fad right now. And so this is really interesting to me because the cowl I'm making is a lot like a hijab in a way. So it's a design by Laura Nelkin called Hood Ola. And
Oh,
so we'll
cool.
see. Yeah, it's not for a doll. It's actually for a fairly large human. I wish I had it made today because I can see that there's people outside that could benefit from a really nice warm hat like this.
Well, you'll have to see if you can make it in miniature, Kathy.
You know, I might. As I watch this, I think about patterns that I make, various hats and things that I think, how could I make that miniature? You know,
That's always fun.
yeah. What are other people making?
I'm working on a baby blanket for am I muted?
No,
Yes.
I'm hearing you.
Okay. I'm working on a baby blanket for a neighbor who's due at the end of May, beginning of June. So lots of time, and since my wrists are bothering me, I just knit a few rows a day and
You'll get
Put
done
it
that
down to the
way.
next day.
Yeah, you'll get done that way.
Yeah.
I'm working on a girl Peace Pal, working on the skirt, the regular old-fashioned skirt.
Oh, good. It's my favorite one. So how did you decide to knit it, Ellen?
What do you mean? The
In the
style?
round or
Oh yeah, I'm doing it with the magic loop in the
and then you're
round.
gonna, huh,
I'm not very good at purling because I do continental knitting,
okay.
which if you're a crocheter, it's easier to learn knitting it because you hold the yarn the same way.
Yes, yep.
So I recently did learn combination knitting that purling is a little easier with that. So I did actually try one piece pal. Let me see if I can find that one I did flat. This one I made flat.
Uh-huh. Oh, it's so cute.
Darling.
So I did the regular garter stitch for the head on the hair or whatever, the hat.
It looks great.
Yeah. Because it
The
was
ha-
much easier furling that way.
Yeah, I agree. I've never learned how to purl continental, but I do knit. Like if I'm doing color work, I'll do the contrasting color in continental.
Mm.
Also, um, this is so weird when I'm not there. So another time when I use continental is if I'm doing corrugated ribbing. So I'll hold the knitting, which one? The knitting one in my left hand, doing continental that way, but I'll still do purling with my right hand. That
Oh,
pretty easy.
yeah. I have to learn how to do the thing with the right hand. Never.
That's how I learned. So that's easy for me. All right.
Yeah.
I am up to the next row where we do something interesting. So what we're going to do now is I'm up to here. So we're going to have to knit these stitches. Actually, when I'm on the other side, we're going to purl. So we're going to purl 13, and then we're going to bind off these 11, and then we're going to purl to the end. But when I bind off, again, because this is another part that curls and we're trying to eliminate the curl, I'm going to bind these off alternating knits and purls. So I'm going to purl 13. I'm going to bind off 11 of them using knits and purls, and then I'm going to purl to the end of the row. So that's what's happening now. All right. So purl 13. And I tried this so many different ways, and it seems weird to start on this side, but it works out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Is that 13? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. No, I'm wrong. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Oh, okay. 13. 2, 6, 8, 10, 12. I was right. Why can't I count? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, 13. I was right to begin with. Okay, so these next 11 need to be cast off. So I'll start with a knit. Then there's a purl and First stitch cast off. So that's 1. Knit 2. Purl. 3. Knit 4. Purl. 5. Knit 6. Purl. 7. Knit 8. Purl. 9. Knit 10. Purl. 11. All right, so I have these 13 that I originally purled. Here's the last one that's left on my needle from binding off 11, and then I should have 12 more here. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So that'll leave me 13 on each side, and that's what I wanted.
I don't know if you saw Evelyn, but other Kathy just started a new baby blanket that she's going to donate to K4P.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I just did the numbers and we donated, hold please. This is anticlimactic when I don't have it in front of me.
Oh no.
802 baby blankets in 2024.
Oh.
That we know of, because I know that some of our makers are not reporting to us.
I'm sure.
How
All
many,
right.
Kelly? 800 some?
802.
Wow. That's
Mhm.
wonderful.
That's nothing compared to hats.
Oh, hats are so fast and blankets take forever.
We donated over 5,000 hats.
Oh my gosh.
Goodness.
Good for us. Yoo-hoo. All right. So this is what we have. We've got 2 sets of stitches. We're going to work them separately. So we're going to work up. This is the side of the face. Oop. Right there. And when I did it originally, I just kind of made it square. I went up and then I, added on. But I kind of like this rounded area. I like it a little bit rounded. So that's what I put in this little pattern here. Okay, so I have 2 sets of 13 stitches that are going to be worked separately. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just 6 rows of knitting, purling. So we can chat while I'm knitting and purling these couple of rows. But I don't want to lose my place, so I'm not going to be the one talking. Somebody else needs to talk.
Well, I will tell Ellen that I've already accosted her email. So when she wants to look in her email, she can.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you can see a picture off of a phone. I'll put it up here. But these were the last finger puppets I sent.
Oh my God.
Cute.
They are adorable.
Oh, they're really precious.
Here, I'm gonna.
Most of them are pretty simple. except for the two, let's see, would it be these two here? I have bought a pattern for it. One is a bear and one is a deer.
Those are so
But those
cute.
took a really long time. Those took almost as long as a Peace Pal to make because they were using the baby yarn.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So, but the other ones I just use worsted weight, and they're very pretty fast.
You know what I did that was fast and it was fun and challenging? I'm gonna show my face because, you don't need to watch my hands knitting and purling, but I just need to pay attention. I put like 5 of them on, like I knit them flat. So I've got my straight needle and I chose like 5 different color palettes. And instead of using skeins, I used like long strings of yarn. And I had 5 of them on the needle at the same time. So I, did the first row and then of all of them, and then the second row of all of them, and then the faces of all of it. It was a blast. And then when I was done, I had 5.
Wow.
That's the way to do them. Well, that's the way I would do them. All right, so this is my 3rd row. I need to shut up.
Well, I can share that, so I live in for people who are not directly involved with Knit4Peace. I lived in Denver and moved down to a small town of Trinidad, Colorado in 2023 and have been trying to make friends and, trying to find my group to knit with. And about an hour away from me, there's a little town called La Vida that's in the mountains and it's beautiful. And they started a fiber collective. And so I joined the Fiber Collective, and they meet one Saturday a month. We donate $10, and they have tons of food for us to eat. And the first time I went, there was somebody spinning. There was somebody embroidering who was very proficient, very talented at it. Somebody who was learning how to do embroidery. I was knitting. So there was an 80-some-year-old woman who was knitting with variety yarn, and I don't even know what she was knitting, and another spinner and another knitter. And it was just so much fun to see all these different fiber arts come together and just, everybody just chatted away. One woman, the woman in her 80s, runs a ranch by herself. Drives across country every summer with her horses to go to Maine and spends the summer up there.
Wow.
So lots of interesting people finally in my little tribe.
Excellent. That does sound like fun. All right, I am ready to show the next step, which is I'm gonna make one. I'm gonna knit across these stitches, and then I'm gonna make one before I get to this last one so that I can get that curve that I was telling you about. So I'm gonna knit to the last stitch. I want it to curve towards the face, so it's going to be a left-leaning make one coming in from the front. And then that last stitch is knit. The next little row is purl. Alrighty.
Did we lose Amrita?
I wouldn't be surprised. This is a little boring. Yeah, she's not there anymore.
Does anyone know her email address?
I think I do.
Can you just type it in or send it to me, Ellen, just so she can have a follow-up
To get the
to get the pattern?
oh, well, I can send it to her, yeah,
Okay,
later.
perfect.
Yeah. Or send it to her on WhatsApp.
Perfect.
I heard about that app. Okay, so for now, we're finished with these. So I'm going to cut this yarn and I'm going to cut it so that it's long enough to maybe weave in next time I work on those stitches. So leaving about 4 or 5 inches, and then I'm going to just cut this yarn. So now I couldn't think of another way to do this, because what I want to do is start working on these stitches from the wrong side. So I am going to take these stitches and put them on the right hand needle for now. These are the ones that I just worked.
I'm
And
gonna
they're
shoot over the email with the pattern now, since we're all here, and then you can see what if you have any questions before the end of the workshop.
That's a great idea. Okay, so now I am also going to take these guys and put them on the right hand needle too. So everything's going on the other needle. So now I'm on the wrong side, or the wrong side, and I'm gonna knit and purl these stitches so that they're as long as this group here. So it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to be 7 rows, starting with this purl. Oops, gosh. Boy, when I'm not on my sofa, my stuff goes everywhere. That's the first purl row. This row is a knit row. Kim, you were talking about your fiber group. Well, before COVID came along, I also do paper crafting, so card making and scrapbooking. And
Uh-huh.
so there was this lady the next town over, which she and her family were very active in the rescue squad in that town. So for fundraiser, she had, it's called a crop, CROP. You go and you crop your photos and you make all your scrapbook pages. Everybody brought, everybody was working on something different. Oh, this is the pictures from my last vacation, or this is my son's graduation. And we'd all look at them. And then there was lunch and supper, and you were there all day. It was fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah, got a lot done.
Was it potluck or how did they feed? How'd you guys
You
get fed?
Well, like we paid like so many dollars,
Okay.
which included I think they got the space for free because they were members of the rescue squad, but you paid a certain amount of money and that was to cover the food and also a donation to the rescue squad because it was a fundraiser. It was like, I don't know, $15 or $20 for the day. It was pretty cheap. And you just brought all your supplies and your pictures and stuff. It was a lot of fun.
And was it close to your house, close to your home? Or
Yeah,
did you
like
have to?
20 minutes or so.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's nice.
Everybody got a table to themselves because, you need to spread out.
I just think it's part of half of my career I was a microbiologist, and when I would get to go to conferences, it was just so nice to be immersed in with people who spoke the same language. And that's kind of how I feel with my fiber group now,
Yes. Yep.
I mean, they're just not knitters or crocheters, and it's just it's all, I think, many facets of craftiness, craft work that we all have some interest in. So,
And it's something different maybe that you knew about but never really saw in person, maybe.
yeah. One of the spinners, of course, had her own, portable spinning, portable wheel. Another one had an electronic gadget that she was spinning on that sat on top of the table. I'd never seen one before.
Huh,
So,
that is pretty cool.
yeah.
All right, I am on my last little purl row, and then we're gonna make one on the other side to mirror the first one.
Kelly, did you just write that 2,786 Peace Pals were donated this last year?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
I'm floored.
I know. I know. Well, I'm working on our annual report, and you guys are all apparently getting a head start on it. But I think what's really interesting, and I'm double and triple checking my math, and Darlene will also double and triple check my math, but we donated more items out of Denver and items that were reported to us than actually came through our headquarters, which means our local delivery people are doing a heck of a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because our inventory is not high right now. So it means that our local delivery folks are doing a heck of a good job getting into their own communities. So I'm really, really happy with that.
I did donate 20 little peace pails to our local Catholic church, who has a twin parish and school in Haiti, Port-au-Prince, Haiti, this weekend. So,
and she reported them to me.
Yeah, I did report them. I did report them, and so that was kind of fun. So,
nice
wow,
job.
that's
Yay,
fantastic.
Pamela.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. All right. So I'm going to switch back to my hands now. So I'm going to, where am I? Oh, flip it over. So I added the one stitch on this side to round out that face. Now I'm going to knit on this side. So I'm going to knit one, then I'm going to make one. It's going to be make one right so that it goes towards the face, and then I'm going to knit to the end. If I can only find my yarn, there we go. So knit one, make one right, which is back to front. and then knit to the end. This next row is where we're going to purl these and then cast on these missing stitches and then purl those. Then it'll all be one piece again. So I'm going to purl 14 and I'm going to turn it over and cable cast on. So 1, 2. So it was the 13 that we had, and then I made one. So 14 here. I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to cable cast on 9. We had cast off or bound off 11. So we added 2. So now all that we need to add on is 9. Mm. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so what I'm going to do, every time if I just start knitting or purling over here, I wind up with a hole. So that's why I added on the extra stitch here, and I'm going to knit it. I'm going to purl it together with the first one here, and that prevents a hole for me. If you guys are better knitters than I am and you don't wind up with a hole, then you really only have to cast on 8 of them here. But I always get a hole, so I am purling this one together with the first one on the next needle, and that will eliminate the hole for me, especially if I pull it nice and tight. All right, and then I am going to purl these. So now we have 36 stitches on the needle. I'm going to knit the first 13, and then because this is an area that will curl on me, I'm going to purl one, knit one, and then when I get to these, I'm just going to knit them. So 13, I need to knit. Now I'm gonna purl and knit. I think it's 6 times. Is that a stitch? I think so. And this first one, I'm gonna purl through the back loop. Go ahead and knit these guys. So I've got now 3 rows of a purl row, a knit row, and a purl row. And then we just start the decreases for the top of the head. And those are kind of just like the ones for the Peace Pal. So this is a purl row. Oops.
Evelyn, I've got to let the dogs out, but I don't see
Okay.
anything in the chat or anything, so you should be good to go.
Okay, thank you. One more curl row. All right, so now we've got just what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like nine rows left, and it's the decreases for the top of the head. So I'm just gonna do knit 4, knit 2 together till the end, and that'll give me 30, and then every alternate row is a purl. So we're almost done. Does anybody have any questions?
The next one is going to be April 9th, you guys, and we're going to be doing baby Peace Pals. So if you know anyone who is hesitant to try them or thinks they're too difficult, baby Peace Pals are really where to start. So I encourage you to invite your friends, your enemies, whomever really, to come to the April 9th one, because it's a really, really good place to start. And it will be our last Peace Pal make along for a while. So it's a really good chance to get some newbies on board.
Evelyn, I have a question.
I have a question. Oh, go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead.
So, a few times ago, you showed us a lot of different ways to do hair.
Yes.
Is there a hairstyle that goes best with hijabs, or not necessarily?
I have been, it's a really good question, because I think that the whole purpose of a hijab is to cover one's hair. And
Yeah.
so I think that, I'm not, I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's for. So I have been doing, I made one where the girl has bangs, and then the bangs kind of hang out a little bit over the
Okay.
top of the hijab, and then the rest of it is just plain. But the one where we did the braid that goes over, remember, it was really, really
Yeah.
hard to pull it in. That's kind of flat. I think you're looking for something that's flat.
Okay. Makes sense.
Um,
Not the braids. Like the braids wouldn't be great.
the braids, if it's going to hang out, probably not. And
Yeah.
this hijab only goes, it covers all the way to the bottom of the hair, of the head, and the hair is only like half of that, Kim. So if
Yeah.
you had a hairstyle that went all the way down to the collar, I think that would work.
Okay.
So Evelyn, my question is kind of a follow-up on that. And that is if you have any tips on how to get the hijab to fit. Especially if you switch yarn weights to make the hijab and maybe use a lighter weight yarn for it than you had maybe for the head. do you fit it as you go, or do you try to get gauge, or it seems like impossible little task? What do you do?
I just use the very same yarn and the very same needles, and it's like maybe one stitch bigger or one stitch smaller. It's only within like 'cause sometimes my heads are 35 inches and sometimes they're 34. And the top of the hijab that I'm doing is 36 stitches. So that would be my recommendation, Kathy, is to just, if you've got a doll that's made with worsted, then use worsted. And if you're making it with DK, like I'm doing, then make the hijab with the DK. Same, same thing with a hat. I always use the same weight of yarn. Either that or you're gonna have to, like you said, keep trying it on, work out something with a gauge. See what your gauge is. But that seems like much more trouble. The next row is knitting 3 and knitting 2 together. And that's probably not
Evelyn,
what you wanted to hear, was it?
No,
could
that
I
was
ask,
kind of that was really that's really a good tip, is to kind of be planning ahead, um, to be sure that you make a hijab that fits.
And someone else was saying something. Was it?
yes, Evelyn, the dolls that you showed us with the little caps on, those are so cute. Is there a pattern out there that I can find for those little stocking caps?
This one?
Let's see. Let me go back here. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, this is.
Is the cap separate? Or is it just knitted right to the head?
It's not knitted right to the head. It's a separate piece.
Okay.
And I sewed it to the head so that it doesn't
Okay.
come off like the hijabs do. But this is very easy. This was, I think the head is 35. So I made this something that's, it's just knit to purl to. And since I knit flat, I think I made 36 stitches. Is that true? 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Yeah, made it divisible by 4 and then
Okay.
just knit until it's, I don't know, 2 or this one's about 2 inches long. And if you make it longer, then it's really, really cute. It kind of comes up on the head like that. And then I think I tried it once, not decreasing at all for the top, but it was so many stitches that when I went to cinch it together, it didn't come. It left a hole because there were too many stitches. So I went back and I think I knitted 2 together, purled 2 together, knitted 2 together, purled 2 together. So I had the half as many stitches to cinch.
Okay.
Just sewed it up and sewed it on.
Okay. I think I'll try that. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's really, really a cute one. It's not my pattern. I got it from somebody else. I think her name is Bumblebina, the one on Ravelry. She makes really cute dolls. All right, going to be a purl row. I don't know whether you want to see my hands or my face.
Kelly, who takes our hijab dolls?
Oh gosh. It varies. A lot of schools, a lot of
Okay.
we work to serve schools that have a very high level of reduced and free lunches. So oftentimes when they ask for cold weather clothing, they also ask for dolls, and they want those to reflect their demographics at their school. So it's a lot of schools. We also have quite a few go in the summer when we do an international delivery to various deliveries to Africa. And then sometimes we have international deliveries that go to nations where hijabs would be appropriate. But right now, a lot of them are schools.
Okay.
And I say schools, I also migrants and newcomers as well.
Nice. All of my dolls that I'm doing with the hijabs will be coming to you guys over there in Colorado. But a lot of the other ones, my niece she and her church are going this June to Belize. And I was showing her, she came up for my son's wedding. She lives in Texas. She and her mom came up for my son's wedding, and she saw the dolls and she said, "Oh my gosh, those are adorable. Where are the, what are you doing with them?" And I said, "I donate them." I said, because some kids don't have any dolls at all. And she said, "Oh, I'm going to Belize, and that's one thing they said. Some of the kids don't even have dolls, and can you make some for me?" And so that's where all the ones that don't have hijabs are going to go this summer. All right, what did I do here? How many do I have? I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 18. Okay, so now I'm going to knit 1, knit 2 together. And when I do that, Kelly, then I'll tell you, and you can say that it was donated elsewhere.
Fabulous. And you can use our new form.
Excellent. Do we have a form yet?
We do. It will debut in the next newsletter. And if you're paying really close attention, it's on the website.
Woohoo!
Mm-hmm.
Knit 1, knit 2 together. Last purl row. So the hijab doesn't really take all that much time. Like, I want to say less than an hour and a half from start to finish, even though I think it's a lot of fun to do, because it's not just back and forth, back and forth. You have to pay attention and do something. This is my knit 2 together row. So they're fun. I enjoy doing them. They look cute. And I was wondering one time if I know that it's easier for them to use a hijab that comes already on a doll. I think they take ones that are just, here, I'm sending you a bunch of hijabs, but then they have to find a doll that it fits. So
That is correct.
that is correct, right? So this way you can get one to match the outfit. And I was wondering, and I asked Arna because I didn't know, and it always says, if you have any questions, ask Arna. So I emailed Arna. My question was, does the hijab have to be on a doll that's wearing a skirt or a dress? And she said, no, it can be on a girl doll that's wearing pants. So that was good for me to know. Okay, I'm going to cinch up these the stitches. I'm going to put them on the needle and cinch them up. So I always use like double the length of whatever I'm trying to seam, because I have to seam this back. It usually takes twice the length. So 1, 2, and then I'll cut this. Put it on a needle. Pinch it up nice and tight. And now I just have to sew it up. And the same, I use the mattress stitch, the same as I use for the dolls. Seen some pretty hijabs in the newsletters where they're all embroidered and everything. It's probably just like a blank slate for creative people.
I mean, some real life hijabs are stunning.
Mm-hmm. Made out of like silk and everything. So this is something that happens to me, and I don't know if it happens to you guys too, but sometimes it turns out that I don't know what I did wrong, but one side is longer than the other. But if I pay attention to it before I finish up the seam, then instead of grabbing 2 ladders or 2 stitches on both sides, I'll do 2 stitches on one side and just 1 on the other until it catches up and becomes even.
Evelyn, not to be a pest, but we are running a bit over.
Yeah, I know, I know. I'm just about done. I am just about there. Just a couple more stitches, and then we can model it.
I wouldn't push you. I just need to. I have meetings the 2 nights that we have meetings. So
Of course. All right, I'm almost done. You know what? Here, I'll just leave this there. So then what you're going to have to do is sew in all your ends and try it on the doll. And that is not too bad.
Very cute.
And it doesn't curl up too much. It's pretty straight. So that is that. I will put my, oh gosh, 13 things in the chat, and I haven't even had a chance to look at it, but if somebody could copy those chats and send
I've
it
read
to
them
me.
all to you.
Oh, okay. I'll put my email address in here again. Just Evelyn Holmberg at mac.com. Any questions at all? Because I know that this was pretty involved with this step and that step, but I really hope to see a lot of hijabs coming through. Not that I see them, but hear about them. And I hope you guys had a good time and that maybe you learned something. But honestly, if you have any questions at all, any comments, just email me, let me know. And thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you so much.
April 9th.
Super fun.
April 9th for
9th.
Baby Pals.
See you then.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. And please email if you have any questions.
Definitely. Thanks, Kelly. Thanks,
Great.
everybody.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.